Hi, my name is Adeola.kjv. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a colleague, I'm a boss, I'm a mentor. Life is beautiful and fulfilling for me, but it hasn't always been like this. Let me share my story with you. I felt fulfilled. I felt I was marrying the man of my dreams. I felt, should I say complete? Even if that may not be the right word to use right now, but on that day, it felt like I was finally complete. It felt like I had new hopes, for a new beginning with a man that I really was in love with. It was a beautiful day also. If I recall the day, it was a phenomenal day. We had a lot of friends and family, people who we loved and who loved us in return. And it was an exceptional day. I had expectations as to how a marriage should be. I had expectations as to how a husband should be and a wife should be and a family should be. And so, to a large extent, getting married to who I eventually got married to kind of changed that for me. Because one, I wasn't ready for the experiences that I was going to have. I wasn't ready for the people I was going to meet. And nobody really, nobody really sat me down to speak to me about some of the things or some of the experiences I could possibly have. Would I have listened is a different question. However, it didn't even happen in the first place. I know that my dad may have mentioned to me, why do you want to start off your life like this? But, I told him meet him because the person I was going to get married to was a phenomenal guy, and I felt like if my dad met him, he would like him. And that's exactly what happened. So I didn't really get that much of a kickback as to what I would expect. So yes, definitely things started to change from the expectations I went into the marriage with. To be honest, maybe I didn't ask some of the questions that I should have, but I feel like I did ask some questions based on, asking some questions about the ex-family, the current family, and getting to know the children, a little bit before even plunging in. So for me, I felt like that information was enough. I didn't really get anybody sit me down to say, these are the travails of a marriage. Not then taking it a step further to say, these are the travails of being a stepmom. Then taking it a step further to say, you're going to then face X, Y, Z. Are you ready for it? For me, like I said, I probably was naive and maybe a bit desperate. And for me also, love was enough. So the various relationships that you have to contend with in a blended family are these. So you start with the relationship you need to first create with now your new husband or the new person in your life. Now, of course, if it was just you and him, there's a certain, there's some kind of time to create that relationship. However, in a blended home, you don't really have that time, especially when there are kids involved. And so I started off trying to create my own intimate relationship with my husband. But in that situation, there were also his kids, which I had now taken as mine. So I had to now also create now a closer relationship with them as my kids. There is now the next level of husband, kids, then husband, kids, and husband's relatives. So his siblings, his father, his mother, and all of that. So I also had to create now a relationship with husband, kids, and his family members, I would say. And then the next level is husband, kids, husband's family members, and my family members, creating that harmony. So that's another stage of the relationship. Now, because there was another family before my family and myself existed, there is husband, kids, his family, my family, and her family, which are his in-laws, and will remain so forever. So with that, there's you and him, there's you, him, the kids, there's you, him, the kids, his family, there's you, him, the kids, his family, my family, there's you, him, the kids, his family, my family, and her family. And then you then create your own child together. So then there's now the biological child, the stepchildren, the trying to make sure that they all see themselves as one and see themselves as brothers and sisters. And so that others, which is now his family, her family, my family, don't then think that you're trying to create your own child is now special or different aside the others. Because as a stepmom, you feel like, and it may not be the real case scenario, but you feel like if you speak, there'll be problem. If you don't speak, there'll be problem. So regardless of what it is, you find yourself in a very insecure place, because this is a new you trying to create a synergy within all these relationships and still be sane. That's a tough call, isn't it? I mean, as a human being, when there's a lot of pressure, and you're talking pressure from all these different pockets of people, you're talking about now your hormones, because maybe you're pregnant, maybe you've had a child, you're talking about building this harmony or synergy within all of this. It would take a toll on a lot of things, and I'll say one, communication with your husband. It could even affect your intimacy. It could affect your relationship with yourself. It could affect your relationship with the children, because at this point, if you've come from a place of, even if you've come from a place of confidence, because I want to believe that in my case, I came from a place of confidence. However, everything, all the different things that happened now showed me that I may not have been competent for that role. And because I wasn't competent, I wasn't ready for the role, emotionally and all the different ways. I probably didn't feel like I got the support that I needed. It did make me a different person. It did. And as they say, hurt people hurt people. So for me, what happened was I want to, and I'm trying not to over exaggerate the feeling, but I almost lost myself in all of it, because at that point, I'm trying to please everybody. I'm depleted in different ways, because I'm trying to not seem like I am either this or that. And in all of this, you're asking yourself, so really, what have I gotten myself into, and what am I enjoying here? And that was the stage that I got to. Absolutely. Like I said, hurt people hurt people. If all you have is hurt, that's all you're going to be able to give. Now, where does the hurt come from? It comes from different places. And it could also, I think for me now, with hindsight, is the meaning you give to things. Now, nothing means anything except the meaning you give it. So for me, because of the insecure place that I found myself in, I gave meanings to all kinds of things. So people are smiling a particular way. I'm thinking, is it me? They are smiling out like that. Am I, So you're constantly judging yourself. You're constantly asking yourself, I don't know about other people, but for me, I found myself always constantly asking myself, should I have done that? Could I have done it in a different way? Did I say it right? Did I speak right? Did I move right? Did I act right? Did I smile right? Did I say hi right? Did I kneel down well enough? Constant chatter in my head, constant. And I also realized that I didn't do that when that concerned my own biological child. I didn't have to ask myself questions, even if yes, I may have said, maybe I should have done something differently. But I found myself in a place where I didn't even know who I was anymore. I didn't. everything, I would say my essence left me. And when you don't have your essence, you have nothing. And you cannot give power when you haven't got any. And so, yes, some people say, oh, there's this wicked stepmother, but they're wicked. I mean, it's not about being a stepmother. Even as a human being, if you have pain in your life and you are hurt and depressed, that's all you're going to give, regardless of whether you're a stepmom or not. I've seen mothers and I've heard mothers who have done even worse to their children. So it's not, I mean, I think it's just a myth around, oh, the wicked stepmother, because we have seen Cinderella, for example, or we're seeing, Snow White and some of these, stories. But those are the stories that also have fooled us to make us think that there's some kind of romance that must happen, and without actually taking cognizance of the fact that your joy and your happiness is solely your responsibility. And so for me, because I'd come from a place of, should I also say hurt? I'd come from a place of unresolved, that's the word, unresolved hurt and unresolved situations. I realized that I wanted validation. And if you're a person who wants validation, especially from the people you think you should get it from, and you don't get it, it will hurt you even further. It will, because now you're expecting certain things from people. And like I said, I had certain expectations about marriage because, one, I saw the relationship between my dad and my mom, and I thought, okay, that's how a relationship or romance should be between a husband and wife. I read so many novels. I listened to all kinds of love music. I could sing some even in my sleep. So all those things, and Mills and Boons, oh my goodness, Prince Harry or Prince Charming coming to sweep you away, and then all your problems are gone. And then your husband is meant to be your air conditioner, he's meant to be your freezer, he's meant to be your house, he's meant to be your fan, he's meant to be all the things that even sometimes he cannot even be for himself. So imagine putting all the things that you want in the weaknesses of someone else and giving power to someone else's weaknesses. What are you going to get from it? Nothing but hurt. And that's exactly what happened to me. What did I do? First I hit rock bottom. That's what happened. So I knew immediately that I needed to find help, and quickly. And so I shared it with somebody, and he said, he mentioned someone to me who was a therapist, and I saw him every day for 6 months. Every Wednesday for 6 months. And that kind of started my journey into owning, should I say, taking my power back, because I realized that at the end of the day, if I was okay, everything around me would be okay. Now, I also had to heal the hurt that had been placed in me. I wanted to investigate and know me properly to be able to then teach me to the people around me. Because if you don't know your identity, you would answer to anything that they call you. So for me, I needed to know who Adeola was to start with. I wanted to know who I could say I was, what the things that I really, really needed to exist. Because I also then found out in the process that some of the things that I thought made me came from a place of neediness, or came from a place of wanting to be desired or validated. Now, none of these things sound really bad. However, if it's a weakness for your partner, then it can actually really, really, really destroy or damage or hurt you. And so I found a couple of coaches that I hooked my caboose to, and I followed them. I did everything they asked me to do. It was tough. So when it was repetitive. I had to do them same time every day. I had to do it consistently, even against all odds, even against my health, even against my mindset, because I had to break the limiting beliefs and my mindset as to where I was at that time to gain freedom. And when I did, oh boy, when I did, my life turned around. And have I gotten to where I want to get to? Not really. But am I where I was? Definitely not. And so for me, it's probably going to be a journey forever. However, The reason why I decided that I was going to jump on this journey and carry people along was because maybe if I had someone sit me down and walk me through this process, either by giving me their examples or at least teaching me how to, or telling me or giving me some guidelines or some steps as to how to navigate my way through, maybe I wouldn't have been as hurt as I was. I'm not saying that I wouldn't have gone through those experiences. You still would go through those experiences, but it will be from a different place. Actually, I'll say it's a better relationship because now I am a better person. I'm no longer hurt. And so from that place, I'm able to give love and give genuine and real love. I can create boundaries, healthy boundaries. Before I would say yes to everything just because I didn't want to, rock the boat, or I didn't want to feel like I was rejecting anybody. But now I say no with a smile and I have no apologies for it. And for me, those are some of the things that helped me to get my power back. There was one particular assignment I'll share. I had to look into the mirror every day for 90 days and tell myself one thing that I loved about myself. And tell myself one thing I admired about myself and one thing I forgave myself for. That alone was, I'm trying not to get emotional, but that alone took me from ground zero to at least ground 2. And of course, there were so many other things that I also had to do to also first know me and love me and value me and share me to the world, because I'm the only one that can teach you how to treat me. So if I know me, then I'm able to tell you how I want to be treated. And that's what really happened for me. So where are you in your journey as a stepmother? And how can I support you to becoming the phenomenal woman you truly are? I will help you with the same tools that I used and teach you the same steps that I took to get me to the bliss that I now feel. We will sit, you will speak, we will ignite, and you will shine. That's what Owning My Greatness was birthed for, to create a safe space for stepmoms all over the world. Send me a DM today and let's start your journey to owning your greatness. I am Adeola.kjv and I am owning my greatness. What say you?